Hi, I'm Samantha Anderson, Director of Communications for Newton Public Schools, and I'm here with Superintendent Dr. Deb Ham, and we're here to go over some of the highlights from last night's Board of Education meeting. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section, but we'll get started. The first major point of discussion, after some great presentations from our elementary school and middle school, can you just go over the decision made in regards to the LOB?
Sure. LOB stands for Local Option Budget, and as you might recall, we have been providing information to the board for the last couple of months regarding different options to look at making capital improvements. So looking at HVAC, rooftops, all of those kinds of things that need to be maintained from year to year. And so an option that we presented to the board was an increase in our budget authority for our local option budget from 30 to 33%. And that requires that we provide a notice to the public, and also that we provide a notice to KSDE, the Kansas State Department of Education, of our intent to raise our budget authority. So at any rate, the board had a great discussion about the pros and cons of moving forward with this action, and the board took a vote, and the motion failed. And so we will not be moving forward with this matter. The board can only consider this one time during the school year, because they have to give notice to the public and also notice to KSDE. So at any rate, it is an option that they have determined not to pursue at this time.
Okay. The board also discussed our ELL program. Can you let us know what that discussion was about?
ELL stands for English Language Learner, and in our district we have a number of students that come to us not speaking English as their first language, and so we provide a program for students to become proficient in the English language. And our school district, 2 schools, have been identified as targeted for school improvement in the area of our English language program. And that has to do with how well students are performing on state assessments, either English language arts, math, or the KELPA, which is specific to their language proficiency, English language proficiency. So the board had asked several questions about this. We became notified over the summer, and then have been working most recently in February with the Kansas Learning Network, which is supported by KSDE, and will be working with our district to make improvements in our program and in this area. We had identified previously that we had some needs in this area for working with students, and so we've provided some additional training for paras and teachers working with ELL. And then as our English language arts team, for everyone else that would be the teachers of reading, have been working towards new resources for teaching of reading, and also looking at how to teach reading. How we teach reading is also very good for how we will work with our English language learners. So we'll be extending professional development opportunities for teachers in those areas. Also talked a little bit about how we might encourage more teachers to get an ELL endorsement and to become ELL certified. And so we provide a tuition reimbursement for teachers who are pursuing that. And then once they have that, they receive an additional $300 per year as a stipend for having that endorsement. So there will be more information coming out on this as we work more with the state and determine what our next steps are.
Okay, and then the district also made a report about discipline to the board. Can you just go over that?
Right, there's several questions about student discipline and student behaviors in our schools. And like many districts across the state and across the nation, we are seeing an increase in students with behavior problems and also with mental health issues that affect their behavior in our schools. So the board had several questions. We began answering those last night. We're not finished with that, certainly. But one had to do with the discipline point system. If you've had a student in our schools for a number of years previously, you might be familiar with the point system that was developed in, I believe, 1994. And it has evolved and changed over time. It used to be a K-12 program. It is no longer a K-12 program. Schools have developed through the multi-tiered system of supports work that we have been doing for about the last 6 years, a set of matrices for student behaviors expectations in each school, and we have monitored our use of office referrals and those kinds of things over that time. We've also started different ways to approach students in working through behavior problems and having conflicts with adults in the school setting. We provide different kinds of consequences for students, such as out-of-school suspension, in-school suspension, detention, different things like that could occur for students. There are state statutes that govern suspension and expulsion and what we can do and what we can't do. So, and we've also, as the legislature has worked on different things for juvenile offenders, that has also impacted discipline in schools. So we are looking for how we can solve some problems and create a system that is more pre-K-12, because of course we have pre-K students at Cooper Early Childhood, and so we want to make sure that we have a consistent system across our whole district. So,
okay. And then last but not least, the board approved a number of gift requests this month. What were those?
Well, again, I say this, I think, every month. It's always my favorite part of the meeting. I do appreciate all of the donations that we receive from our community and the way that the community supports our schools. So our first donation was from Bumper to Bumper Auto Parts of Newton to Newton High School CTE program, a donation for various machines and cutting outfits in the amount of $1,000. From Centerline Steel to Cooper Early Childhood Center, a cash donation to purchase books and supplies in the amount of $1,000. To Slate Creek, from Slate Creek Elementary PTO to Slate Creek Elementary, a donation for 4th grade PBL makerspaces in the amount of $500. And that was connected to one of our student reports last night from Slate Creek, and they did an outstanding job. So a big shout out to those students that came and presented to the board. And then from AGCO Corporation to Newton High School Railer Robotics, a donation for supplies and travel expenses in the amount of $500. In addition to those that must be board approved, we received several gifts that do not need board approval but are much appreciated also. From LH Goosen to Newton High School Railer Robotics, a donation for supplies and travel expenses in the amount of $250. From Dillon's to the Special Education Department, a donation of 200 roses in the amount of $300. From Darren and Lacey Fair to Northridge Elementary, an incubator to be used to hatch ducks in the science classroom in the amount of $197.38. And I personally am really excited to watch the live cam on that because we have some great ducklings in our future. And then from White Eagle Credit Union to Newton High School Railer Robotics, a donation for supplies and travel expenses in the amount of $100. So again, on behalf of the school district and our teachers and our students, much thanks to everyone who contributes to our schools.
All right. Well, that's all we have for you. Just a reminder, we only have one meeting in March and April and May. So our next meeting won't be until the second week of April on the second Monday of April. Thank you so much for being here, Dr. Ham, and thank you for watching.